Hello and welcome back to this episode of What Topic Podcast. I'm your host, Owen Burkett at owen.burkett.
And your other co-host, Josh Deakin at Mr. Josh Deakin. And we're back.
We're still alive.
We're back and we're still alive. That's it, yeah. We've been away for like 2 months again. Like, we just can't help ourselves, can we? We're just like, yeah, just sod off the podcast for 2 more months again.
You know, life just kind of went, hey, come here. Like, I got something to show you. Oh, okay. Just pushes you out, so...
It's funny because there's been so many opportunities that we wanted to record, but like we just hasn't happened. Like we wanted to record when we met up in October, at the end of October for a Halloween weekend. That was great fun.
It was great. Well, I mean,
oh yeah. Apart from the fact that you got punched, yeah.
On the first night, I might add, like it just seemed like Birmingham just kind of leaned over, and went, oh, so how do you find our city? Well, I think I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's quite the story that was.
Man, honestly, but hey, it didn't stop me from having a good time. So,
yeah, I'd say I'm happy that we was able to host a good weekend for you. Apart from the the punching, obviously that could happen in any city. Goes without saying, but the circumstance
that really bothered me. It was the first night. You would think they would just save it to like the season finale of my stay.
I love that how you just describing it like it's a TV show or a film. That's a good way to see it.
Yeah, I mean, oh well, yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Hey, the main thing is you're okay. You got yourself checked out. You got the police involved. I don't know what else after that, I guess.
And they transferred it to a different sector of the police department, but they've still not got back to me. So
sounds like the police in every
place. I mean,
I've
written. The thing is, I've written down everything, like when it happened, where it happened, and blah blah blah. So it's like when they do eventually get back to me, then I'll be like, right, I got this and this and this and that. So
it'll be funny for the people involved that did it to you. They'll be like, oh, it's like 3 months later. Fuck.
Well, they'd be kind of like, we showed him. Knock on the door. Excuse me, you're under arrest. What?
Exactly right. Because like everyone that we know, like who knows me and you, like they were shocked that it happened. It was pretty mad.
Well, it was just the fact that I literally took somebody home just to make sure they were safe. And next thing, that the person was safe, but the person who took to make sure they were safe got hurt. So, and it was just like, and then I text you, it's like, by the way, I just got punched in the face. So,
okay.
and then you were calling me, and then James was calling me. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, for context, James is one of my friends from high school back in the day. So, but yeah, I introduced Owen to, I guess you could call the Birmingham lot, and then 2 friends from London. So that was quite good fun, actually. It's quite the mad weekend. Friday night, we wasn't even meant to be going out, apart from like go for some drinks, no martini.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the original the plan was go to.
Oh shit! Bar. No, we went to Sushi Bar, so that was
we went to a Sushi Bar, and then people went, oh, let's go to a bar. And I'm like, okay, so we went to was it Dirty Martini?
Yeah,
like,
the one with the big wings that people know of.
And then that's it. And they were like, yeah, this is cool. And then everyone's like, no, it was you like, let's go to Snobs.
Yeah, me and my friend who's friends with Liv, who's been on an episode here on the podcast. If you remember, guys, she was Liv's artistry. We did an episode on her. So hopefully have her back in the new year to talk about her next endeavors going on at the minute. She's been doing quite a lot of cool things recently. She's worked with the Wolverhampton-based company Lamoda. Not a lot of people probably know that they're based in Wolverhampton.
Okay.
Pretty amazing, actually. She's been given, she was invited to come and model for them, paid for it, and then she was invited back to do makeup for some of their shoots. So that's like pretty mint.
Nice.
So I'll say I don't know whether she'll listen to this episode, Liv, maybe now or another time. But like, yeah, congratulations again, Liv. I'm always making sure that my friends get all their accolades recognized. That's it. Make sure that it's it's a thing that a lot of people don't realize like is actually really nice. It's a good thing to do with friendship. Always look after your friends and support them.
It's not just like your own endeavors. For everyone.
That's it. Yeah, that's my message to the people, to the peeps.
Don't be a dick.
Word to the wise: don't be a dick, and also look after your friends, and also share in their successes, because I think that's nice.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, it was just like you and Amber were like, yeah, let's go to Snobs,
which is
and
the
then
indie
and
nightclub
then it
in
was so
Birmingham.
funny. It was like Nikki went, oh fuck it out, Snobs, like, and then it was me going like the only one that hasn't been to Snobs. So I'm like, I don't care what we do. It's like,
It was pretty funny.
man, that was such a crowded club. Like,
It is busy,
um,
Snobs. It gets very busy.
and then it was like the smoking balcony area that was like such that is like the tiniest outdoor
Suffocating
balcony
area.
I've ever been to. So
It is an experience, though. Snobs is an experience that you don't forget. It's like it's one of the reasons why I love it, because it's like it's not like bigger clubs like Prism, which you go to anywhere in the country. I mean, the one in Birmingham is pretty massive, but
yeah, no, we and that was when decided to take was it Nikki, because she was pretty drunk, and then so I helped her along with James get her back to the hotel,
and then these other guys basically, which I think you said you think they were like drunk off their face as well, but trying to do something.
I don't know if they were drunk, but I don't know what they. I think I've taken a guess what their intentions were. They just we took into the hotel, and obviously they passed through security. The security said, asked for the names, the room
at that
number.
time of the day they do.
And surprisingly, James got the names, but he was struggling with the room number, and then Nikki went this number of and so it's quite funny. The drunken one got the room number right, so they passed through, and obviously I wasn't staying there, so security went, sorry, you're gonna. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll go back to my hotel and everything. And as I was about to leave, they came through, and they were like acting quote unquote concerned, like asking like, oh, hey, look, are you all right? And everything. And I tried to explain to them, like, look, they picked me through security. They know each other. I know them. They're fine. But one kept telling me to shut up. And the other one kept asking me, how old I was. And I'm like, what are you implying? Are you suggesting?
What's that matter?
Are you suggesting I'm like some kind of pedo or something? I don't know.
No, right.
But even then, like she's not even underage. She's
so 26 like me.
But anyways, so yeah, I actually asked him like, why do you need to know that? And then next thing I knew, I blacked out for a second, and then was on the floor, and then I was like, my jaw was hurting and everything, and then saw them, leave, and another staff member came over. And then just asked me if I was okay, and I tried to go back, but then I just remembered like, oh, she's wearing my coat with my hotel key. So I couldn't go in. They had to go in, and so they let me wait in the lobby with an ice pack. And so I finally got my jacket, and then just walked back to my hotel. Well, I bumped into you because I said, I let everyone know. It's like, by the way,
I was pretty mad. I was because I was like, what the fuck has happened? Because so basically, you guys all went before 3:30. I stayed until 3:30 in the morning. This is, by the way, obviously. Obviously nightclubs, obviously they have 3:30 in the morning. And I left with another James, it's part of our group, another friend James, and Amber, and we went to take Amber home, and then was going to come and meet you guys at the hotel. We thought you'd probably gone to bed, obviously, at that point. I had another phone call at that point, was going to get some food. Amber didn't feel hungry. She was going to get some McDonald's with us, but she changed her mind. So like obviously nearly back to Amber's, like she was just like, I'm definitely not going to eat anything, guys. So I was like, okay, we'll keep walking. And I get the phone call from James. I get pissed. I don't know why I did this. Like, I think I was maybe a bit intoxicated still, probably. So that's why. But I kicked my my right toe into a traffic sign for some reason, and it was throbbing like mad. It was because I was getting pretty pissed. I was hearing that someone had been attacked, and how does that happen in less than half an hour? Like, I know things happen quickly, but like it was only half an hour, and like in that half an hour, I was just having a laugh with Amber, like because the other James that we're with, like he was off somewhere else in the club, and like we were just like jamming out to the last songs. We had a photo with some other friends of Amber's, and it was funny. It was a funny like end to the night. It was lovely. But yeah, that happened obviously, unfortunately, and I mean there wasn't anything bad that happened after that as such. Then it was just a lot of drunk escapades.
minus my jaw, but there you go.
Yeah, I'd say there was a lot of drunk escapades that weekend. It was quite a cool weekend, but also quite a mad weekend.
It was a mad weekend. Like, the fact that we went to prison and
not actual prison, obviously.
Not prison, not prison. So it's spelled PRY.
Prism, like as in prison, the shape. Yeah.
That was pretty crowded, but it was just funny. Like, people forgot their tickets, or because me, you, and Nikki got in, but it was like, I don't know, one thing after another. Everyone eventually came in, and then we got some drinks, and it was so fucking expensive. I literally looked at my Monzo account. I went, say what now?
Some of the drinks that you was getting in, like, if you're gonna get vodka in a nightclub and all things like that, it's definitely getting expensive, unfortunately.
Yeah. And
that's why I always stick to your cheapo drinks, like your
We got into
WKD and VK. That's it.
And then it was like we somehow got to the VIP section.
I know, that was
allowed
funny.
us in. And then it was like 10-15 minutes later, they went, "No, you need to come out." Like, that's it.
I think they were a bit pissed as well, those people that had the VIP area, because you have to pay extra for the VIP section. You get like space. The space is all around the sort of middle dome area as you go up, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was just so weird. Like, they didn't think about checking, like, who it was. Like, they thought we were just with this group of people. And then they went, "Oh, they don't belong here. It's like, we need to get out."
It's weird because Nikki was let back in, and our other friend Aaron was allowed back in.
I know she.
Well,
I wouldn't say let back in. She sneaked her way in.
Yeah, she seemed to manage to wave her magic wand and get round them somehow.
And
it's probably because without sounding sexist, but she's probably because she's a woman as well. Like, they kind of gave her
no. I'm not saying that. She literally, when what she did was, when other people were supposed to get in, they were getting in, and she just kind of went, like, it just swung.
And Aaron had to go after her because she was
and just pissed. That's it. So that's what happened.
It is what it is, I guess.
That was interesting. But
I tell you, there's one thing that I learned after that weekend in total is that, like, in the drinking side of things, I found out that I actually quite like licorice in vodka. Surprisingly, like, so if you get a black vodka, they're nice.
But the thing is, I gave you what was it? Soko and Coke.
Yeah,
and then you and Nikki were like, "Oh, what the fuck is that shit?"
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck?" It's weird because I do like stuff and comfort. So I don't know. Maybe I just had a bad taste for it when I was drunk.
I don't know. Maybe it was.
I like to stick to, like,
maybe it was on its maybe it was on its off by date. I don't know.
Yeah, fair play. But yeah, that was
October leading up to November. So and then November was just like
quite an interesting month, to be fair. We obviously met up again at the end of the month for the meet up at the Portrait Mission.
Yes,
first one of the year again. Woohoo! And the last one of the year.
I finally got photos of me and Bella, because Bella was.
I wanted to get you my photos. I haven't edited any.
Well,
of it
was just like the fact that we did get photo. Well, I say we got photos. We didn't actually get them, but we had photos taken of us. During the last one, which was like back in 2019, but we couldn't remember like who took the photos, and we're trying to ask her around
in Southend,
and then so I was like, okay, once we take the photos on, I'll find them on Instagram and then screenshot it, so I know I've got a list of.
That's it, yeah. Unfortunate situations, eh?
So so I finally got photos of me and Bella like out there, so that was good. And then we went to Weatherspoons after that.
That was nice.
We kind of basically took up most of the that the one
front area,
the
door,
which is quite funny because everyone was like looking at us, and we were like the ones like joining like tables and chairs, and
it was like the old days again, like pre-COVID, pre-COVID. That's right.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
And obviously, literally within those next few weeks, we find out about Omicrom. Oh God! And the transformer of all of the different variants.
I love how the South African doctor was like, "Oh, everyone's panicking. Like, you shouldn't panic." And then you find out, oh, people.
We should panic a little bit because it's more transmittable. But like,
it's more
the evidence is still pointing to the fact that it's still less deadly. It's not hospitalizing as much yet.
It's more transmissible, but the ones that are being really affected by it is the unvaccinated. So it is showing that vaccines aren't working.
Yeah.
And it's showing that the virus, even though they're making variants right now, like even if they do make variants, it's only affecting those who have not been vaccinated. So
Omicron is essentially, as the research is sort of showing at the minute, it's showing that it could be leading to the endemic part of the pandemic, where like it becomes just like your common flu. You just have a booster every year or every few years.
And the thing that people are acting surprised that Omicron has came out of nowhere, like it's just like, well, that's how.
It is a bit ironic that it's come around again in December, like, but then again, winter,
Well, that's the thing, and I've heard a lot of people had to cancel their Christmas plans just because either themselves had caught COVID, or
I've heard of that, yeah.
Or their friends or family got COVID, and
my cruise got cancelled. So I spoke about it a few times on the podcast. I think that I was going on a cruise last year and I didn't get to go on in December. This December, didn't get to go on it again. Last Saturday, my dad got denied entry because his test came back positive for some reason. He then proceeded to do a lateral flow test then, and that came back negative. And the night before, he done one that was negative. And then the next day, that was negative. And then the PCR from the NHS drive-in was negative as well. So fuck you, P&O. I'm sorry, but fuck you. P&O Cruises, you need to get your tests sorted out, because up the nostrils ain't enough. Tonsils. I think the tonsils really do tell the full story when you do a nostril and the both of the tonsils, because the tonsils really do pick up a lot of the COVID spike parts, I think, in the testing.
Well, it's partially where the air is coming from. When so
the problem is with the nose is that you're going to pick up everything. It's going to think up a false positive because of the fact that you might have a sniffly nose, etc.
That's it. Yeah,
and I think that's what it was. Like we all got the text saying that we was negative from the test in Southampton port, but that came positive. I mean, we was all distraught. It was horrible. Like we spent like 5 hours after that waiting for my suitcase. Everyone else's suitcases came back. And then we realised that there was a suitcase that hadn't come back outside of my own one. So we nearly left. We could have left behind another suitcase that we didn't account because we was all so pissed off and so annoyed and like just broken. And then we were told that we have to go home. All these things, like it's 5 to 6 hours. I wasn't able to use my phone much because the internet was shit. So it was literally just family and just being stressed out and talking to other passengers that were denied entry as well. Like there's been reports because my mom's part of a Facebook group for this itinerary that's going, obviously back and forth between Southampton to Canary Islands, and they basically have been posting on there that like people have been being dropped off in Tenerife because they've been positive to go to a hotel to isolate. And anyone who's in contact with them has got to isolate on a quarantine deck on board. We feel like we might have dodged a bullet, potentially.
Yeah, that's the thing, that if I heard that somebody caught COVID before they were supposed to get off, and then they thought, okay, they're not on board, I'm like, nah, I'm getting off. Like, that's it.
The problem is, though, Tenerife, they've already stopped flights with TUI, and I'm not sure how many other companies have stopped flights to Tenerife at the minute.
Well, it's like flight. This is what I don't understand. Like the problem with the Delta variant is like that got in because they weren't canceling flights or anything like. And then obviously because of Omicron, that's
already spread everywhere. So there's no point canceling flights.
So, well, it's no point, but you have to put more restrictions, and
they need to make it so that they have safe travel for those positive cases. Because Tenerife, because they kind of, I think P&O should make it. It should be on P&O's back that they drop them in Tenerife. Like they haven't got a flight, make them a flight to get back to the UK. That should be part of it. Like they'll probably say, obviously, we'll pay for it, and then you have to claim it on your insurance to get more money back, or like maybe you have to claim it back and do it yourself. But like, yeah,
and this is why I've been telling people that like just because you're over this pandemic doesn't mean it's over.
Which is annoying, really, because like I get that sentiment, but I am so over it. Like I'm just trying to block it out of my daily life.
And I totally understand it, but the thing is, like, I guess it's easy for me to say because obviously I'm vaccinating people and I'm still vaccinating.
Yeah, you're going to be doing it for a very long time.
We're still getting people getting their first doses, and the look in their faces that I don't know where, like it seemed like a mixture of people that they genuinely just wanted to see. Like I asked somebody and they said, I just wanted to see, myself from friends and family, how it is. And then once I'm, I'm convinced enough, then I'll get my jab. Which I was like, okay, you know what, that's fair enough. That
some people genuinely just don't have a decision that they can make on it because obviously of medical complications. But for the people who do, I feel like it shouldn't take much to convince somebody to get a COVID vaccine at this point.
No, it's done nothing, and the people that are just spreading all this bullshit online is just that's part of the problem.
I get that. That one that we both were talking about the other day. I didn't completely realize that he was an anti-vaxxer because I saw what he said. Like, yes, a lot of people are dying from mental health. That's true, but also that doesn't make the vaccine any less important.
Well, it doesn't make the vaccine and just the overall pandemic any less dangerous than what it is. Like, it's been killing people, and there's still people who are insistent that because they eat healthy and they are looking after themselves, that they're not good, their antibodies are going to cover it up. And I'm just like, or you've been incredibly lucky to not catch it. And do you really want to take that risk? But some people are still like that, and I go, you know what, me, and it's not just me, it's me and a lot of nurses who are not just vaccinating but just dealing with patients, hospitals and ICUs and everything. Their sympathy has gone like just zero. It's gone to the point where like you had plenty of opportunity.
Exactly, yeah.
To get this vaccine. We don't know how many ways we can try to convince you or encourage people to get the vaccine. And
at some point, unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be mandated soon at some point. Like, and I feel like you can't escape that. Yes, it might be something that feels very wrong and like is unfair, but what is unfair is when you take somebody's life because you are careless about your life.
Well, it's just selfishness, and it's just
selfish,
and they think like you
wear your mask to protect another person, and they protect you
not
by
just
wearing
yourself but other people. And it's the same with the vaccine. Like, that's the whole point, and people think that they're trying to sound smart, like saying unvaccinated and vaccinated still can catch the virus and spread around. I go,
yes, that's true.
That is true, but the difference is the vaccine has shown that you will still get the symptoms, but you're not likely to go to the hospital.
You just take a look at an X-ray of a vaccinated person and a non-vaccinated person in hospital, and you can see how much worse their body is.
Yeah, I spoke to a photographer I've never met before, but I've been following her work, and she's like, I think your age or maybe a little bit older. She's
around about 26 to 30, yeah.
She's got a kid, and then she's married and everything, and looks after herself, but she's caught COVID, and they decide to get her x-rayed and everything. And as she was going by, she saw nothing but patients in their 30s, 20s, 40s, and she asked, are they all unvaccinated? And and one of the doctors or nurses said yes. And the doctor went, right, so I'm going to show you what your lungs look like. So you're double vaxxed. I'm going to show you what the unvaccinated lungs look like. And the difference is like, it's not quite night and day, but
there's enough to show.
There was enough difference from it. So
it's quite horrible. Okay, so we just had to quickly pause there.
Sorry.
Yeah, just an interruption on Owen's side there.
Yeah, so I know people are fed up with it, and trust me, I completely understand it. But for my job in order to do my job, and in order to feel like I need to do my part, I need to not force people to take it, just encourage people like to think, okay, rather than thinking of just you as an individual, you need to think about the broader, spectrum of the bigger picture of the whole thing. And this is something that you may have heard of so many times, and we still get patients that look like they are reluctantly, getting the vaccine and everything. And and the fact is that there's even talks of like a lockdown after Christmas. So
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure it's going to happen anymore. A few days ago, I would have definitely agreed if they do a circuit breaker. But a lot of the research that's happening right now is basically saying that if we have a circuit breaker or another lockdown, more likely a lockdown, in terms of what this is accounted for, is that this will only pause the damage that COVID is doing right now, the new variant. And then the minute that everything gets back open again, it'll just continue like nothing had happened. So the only way that we're going to get through this side of Omicron is probably just vaccinations, because and like I don't like to agree with Boris very often, but only because of what his scientists have said to him and the SAGE, etc. But then even SAGE, I think SAGE are, let's say, for those who don't know, SAGE is the scientific what is it, the scientific advisory board basically for like science in the UK, and they're advising that we have like circuit breakers and lockdowns, but I don't think they're seeing the bigger picture really. I mean, they probably are, but I'm just saying it for as a metaphor, like I think that from what I can see, it's just like, why would we want another lockdown when lockdowns are just going to be ignored, and restrictions are going to be ignored?
That's the thing. It's like people said like
let's run its course now.
If we go for another lockdown, the anti-vaxxers and the anti-lockdown people are just going to lose
COVID
their
deniers,
shit.
yeah.
They're just going to lose their shit. And then somebody said, really, do you think that? I'm like, dude, they've been protesting this shit.
They've been protesting recently. They all deserve to end up in a, obviously I don't want them to end up in a hospital because it's not fair on the NHS, but they deserve to be the way they're going.
Oh yeah, this is the thing. Like they think like, oh, that this is discriminatory. I'm like, no. Like you've been offered this life-saving vaccine that's helping not just yourself, but you're helping those who cannot get the vaccine and want the vaccine. You are
hindering
not taking a and it's also, you're going to be affecting the elderly, the immunosuppressed, those who cannot wear a mask. So they are more vulnerable.
Even those people who can't wear masks do try and wear masks some of the time because they care.
And that's it. It's just, I don't know how else to. By now, I'm done trying to convince or encourage. I'm not convinced. Trying to encourage people to take the vaccine. By now, everyone's pretty much either got it or they haven't.
At this point, sanity, your sanity has been bled too much now. Like you've spread it so thin, your sanity, and why should you continue to beat the drum when people are deliberately just ignoring it?
They're completely ignoring it, and I try to make it like as much analogies as possible. It's kind of like, if doctors and nurses told you need this operation in order to.
Yeah, it's that argument that like if you're happy to have an operation, or you're happy to modify yourself like with a piercing, get a tattoo, if you're going to do it, let's say drugs, for example, like this, if you're happy to do cocaine, happy to do weed and stuff like that, but you're not happy to get a vaccine, I'm sorry, but you're agreeing to things that are worse. You're by definition.
By all means, like you can smoke cigarettes, you can eat junk food, you can drink alcohol, all these things, but a vaccine, that's where you draw the line.
I know.
And
it's like that. That's it. I saw it the first few times where it's like, oh, you're happy to get your Botox done, but you're not happy to stick a needle in you with a life-saving vaccine. And
the funny thing is, like, they always say, like, oh, like all these people getting the vaccines, they don't even know where the ingredients from. And I even saw, and we do have a laminated piece of paper with all the ingredients of
I love that
vaccine.
Like people try and come up with everything that's wrong. Like, do you remember when people were saying that the vaccine was making people go completely like a vegetable? No, just no. That got completely shut down quick.
Oh, and that was that one where Russell Howard took a video. It wasn't that same. It was I thought, they were talking about this woman, but they talking about a different woman who went up to like, I think it was like a board meeting in some.
Oh, was that the one about the magnets?
Yes.
Oh my god, that was horrific to watch.
So I was thinking of this one woman who just blatantly said, like, is making it magnetize, or
she just
whatever.
Said like,
but that, I thought it was going to be the other woman who said it first. This was a new one. So yeah, he brought up this woman. So he said, see, I'm going to put this key on my chest.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
But if you watch it clearly, she's just sweating, so it's just stuck like in between there and like between near her cleavage. And then she tried
science.
And then, but then it went better. Like she tried to stick it on the side of her neck, and it just kept falling. And then obviously that wasn't working. She got another thing and then stuck it on there. I was like, wow, wow.
At that point,
Just
like, come on, like your argument's lost, love. Move on.
exactly.
COVID denier to the max.
And then it was just the fact that they're still being convinced, like, what was the other one that I understand in some ways that women are being a little bit hesitant because they think it's going to be making them infertile. But the fact is, like,
oh no, the facts are definitely saying it's not doing.
Well, the fact that we're a year in to giving the vaccines to everyone, and there's been no data or support of that fact that that's making them infertile or even babies having severe side effects.
I mean, the only thing that, and it's more pertaining to the AstraZeneca vaccine, which not many people are having nowadays. It's now Pfizer.
I mean, I've taken it, but yeah, so eventually we went to Pfizer and then we went to Moderna. And
you can get Moderna or Pfizer at the minute. Most of the time, it's still Pfizer because Pfizer is the one that provides the most currently. But I mean, it was blood clots, wasn't it? That's it was confirmed that it can happen in like 1 in a million.
It can
cases.
happen. It's like it's so rare.
Rare.
Like I know a lot of the vaccinators or just NHS professionals have taken AstraZeneca, and I haven't heard any one of them had a blood clot.
The only annoying thing I think about AstraZeneca is that it's where the vaccine's like progressive like downturn of like your protection goes down quicker than Pfizer, right?
Well, here's the thing, actually. So I had 2 AstraZenecas beforehand, and then I had Pfizer as my booster. So that's actually a really good combination to fight against the Delta variant.
Oh yeah, I mean, like just having the first 2, like after so long, your protection rate comes down as it wears away.
Yeah, and that
booster tops you back up again,
and it tops it up, and it just fights against the variants like a lot better than if you were to get triple Pfizers. But it's not to say that getting 3 Pfizers is not going to make it any less. It's just
I'm building up my Pfizer Chiefs right now. The group.
You're triple Pfizered.
Triple Pfizered.
I sometimes call it Pfizer.
Pfizer sounds like a sweet company, doesn't it? Like Swizzlers, like the ones who make Parma Violets, or drumsticks.
I just come up when I collect the vaccine in a syringe. I just go, "Can I have some Pfizer, please?" You mean Pfizer? Yeah, Pfizer.
I stupidly, when I had my booster, I had it. So I had it the same week I went away. So on the 13th of December, I think it is. Not Monday, just gone the Monday before. And because I was really quick, I walked in the minute that I found out they had walk-ins that day, and I tried to get on the booking system. Got denied because obviously you couldn't book until Wednesday.
So many people have been having issues with that. So yeah,
which is funny because like I walked straight into one of the local pharmacies by me that were giving the vaccine, the booster, and I literally got it in 5 minutes. It took me no time at all. People, this is the thing that I said to my dad, and I think it's actually quite a valid thing. The reason why there were queues and the media was like going mad all over it is because people are going to the hospitals to get the vaccine. Go to the nearest place to you. Don't go further away. You're making it worse.
Don't go to the hospitals. Go to vaccination centres.
They've opened one up in New Street opposite the Starbucks now. They have in New Street Station in Birmingham. Like, and there was a queue for it, but like they were getting through the queue. Like I was walking past yesterday with my friend. And like just I could see the queue going like this back into the door. I mean, it used to be another shop at that point, but like they've obviously like they're just choosing as much options as they can to get people vaccinated. Like you can get vaccinated and then get on a train somewhere, I mean, the funniest part about the booster though that I didn't have with the first 2 was I felt a weird like kind of like floppy arm for the first 2 vaccines, like everyone mostly does, unless you then have your downturn and you feel a bit ill for a few days. Is that I stupidly tensed my arm up. Like I because I had my coat on, my jumper on, pulled up my sleeve, and I tensed my arm for a second, and the guy was like, "No, I'm in." Whoops. So I felt the pain at least 5 hours earlier than I should have, probably.
Yeah, that's one thing I tell people is like, I know it's easier said than done, but don't tense your arm, otherwise you're definitely going to feel it.
I mean, I felt it for a full day and a bit afterwards, but I was right as rain by Wednesday. I was fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I had the 2 AstraZenecas, and when I got injected, I was like, a bit of sore arm. And obviously, the first one, I had like flu symptoms, like felt like shit and everything.
My mom felt so shit with the booster as well.
And then the booster, I was actually fine. It was just my arm was so sore Like, yeah, I was like, like when I was sleeping, when I was like turning over.
Me
I'd be
too.
like,
Oh my god! You just, I had to. So I'm showing you this, but this is my pillow that I use to prop myself up with in my bedroom because like I just about meet the end of my bed here, so I can sit up like this. So when I go to bed, I put my pillow underneath my my cover next to me like this as like a way of like not touching the radio when it's boiling hot or cold.
Yeah.
But I also sometimes lean onto it, so I lean across the end of my one pillow onto this one like an L shape. When I had the booster, I had to literally prop myself like this. It was that much pain. Like it probably took me an hour to get to sleep on Monday and Tuesday night, but Wednesday night I was out like a light, which sometimes is very difficult for me to do. So I must have been pretty rested at that point.
Yeah, I mean, so to be honest, like, well, we're gonna cut this a little bit short, but
Yeah,
the thing is, like, I honestly understand where people are so done with the whole pandemic and everything. Unfortunately, we don't have a choice to when it ends.
I think that you can avoid thinking about it and talking about it. Not as much as we used to be able to, because it's literally everywhere. It doesn't matter where you're going to the technology news section or you're going to the.
In my case, I have to learn about it. So
yeah. But I think you can go about just enjoying life as much as you can. Just being mindful, obviously. Like, yeah, you wear a mask everywhere. Yeah. I think you can be done with COVID without being selfish. So.
Well, it's just the thing, like, you always talk about, like, oh, you're just being slaves, or, you know, like, so much for freedom of choice.
I see that comment so often on Instagram. It just makes me just pissed off like mad.
And I'm just like, don't you dare compare yourselves to being slaves and the Jews being the Holocaust. That's another thing I'm pissed off about. Oh my god,
yeah. You can't compare it. Like, people are like, even a friend of mine, a doctor friend of mine, she won't be listening to this podcast. But I'll be surprised if she does. She's never told me she's listened.
If she does,
she literally said that she thinks that how the Nazis was what they did to the Jews is what the COVID pass is doing to people now, and I'm like, no,
fuck off, no, don't even go there. No,
we're not going to go there now in talking about it more. But like, let's be frank.
No, but I'm talking about her comments. Like, I tell everyone, I'm like, you cannot compare yourself to the Jews in the Holocaust.
She said her argument, which I thought was not valid, was like that she says we need something horrible to compare it to. I'm like, no, just don't do it at all.
Know.
You don't know how people were like that then. You know, they'd be turning in their grave knowing that probably.
Every Jewish person who has heard that has basically said, fuck you for making that comparison.
I can't believe a doctor did that as well. That's just disgusting. I'm sorry.
It's disgusting. I know, but I even said to somebody who apparently she made this thing like, I've worked for the NHS for 8 years, and I was like, yeah, as a receptionist. But
like, don't get me wrong, if you do end up listening to this, friend of mine, I mean well when I say, like, you can't compare, and like, I'm like, yeah, fuck that logic, but we agree to disagree at that point.
Oh, you could be nice about it. I'm just going to be blunt about it. I'm just going to say, fuck you for making that comparison. So, no, but then she was like, because I kept telling her, like, you cannot, not your friend, but the other friend.
Yeah.
I said, you cannot make that comparison. And she just kind of went, okay, well, you don't have to take things literally. And I'm like, no. So therefore, it's not like that. You can't say it's like that. And they were like, you just can't. And she was like, and she just tried saying it. I'm like, no, sorry. You can say all you want about the vaccine. That's up to you, whatever. But do not compare yourselves to that. It's just, it's non-debatable at all. So yeah, basically the message is that at this rate, that this pandemic is not going to end unless everyone gets vaccinated. And if you're eligible to get a vaccine, get it.
Yeah, like just don't delay, get it done now. Like, I don't want to quote Boris, go get boosted now, because it sounds so cringe as fuck.
Well, I gotta have to say this. So he wants everyone to get that booster, all by the adults to get that booster by the end of December. That is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but you know what? It's a very ambitious goal, considering that every day has been getting very close to 1 million.
All the nurses I've spoken to, I was like, did you hear what Boris Johnson said? And they just went, yeah. And I'm like, we're not going to do it, aren't we? And we're like, no.
I mean, I feel like we can get close, but we can't promise it. I don't think.
No, we're not gonna get close. It took us weeks, even like a month, to get through each and every age group. So he's wanting like everyone below the age of 40. So people still waiting to get their boosters. So say like the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s.
I had it before my friend John, and I was say John's been on this podcast before, and he was surprised I got it before him. He was like, "What?" Because now they're doing the vaccinations at my college. Now my college is shut for the year, so that's another place that's been. This is the thing that I think we are doing pretty well. Like, if there's one thing that I will credit the boosting program up, is the fact that now places like schools, colleges, universities that are shut down can be turned into vaccination centres for this period, which will get us to a goal which is more achievable. But at the same time, we are getting close to those record-breaking numbers. Like, we are breaking records every day, which is very good for our country. Like, it's good to show that we're doing it. But Boris, do not lie about the goal, and do not lie about us being one of the top vaccination people in the country.
We're not even close to the other European countries.
I know, it's so ridiculous, Boris. Like, just give up, old mate. Like, let's be honest here. Israel are way higher than we are still.
And we're not getting into the whole scandal of them meeting up over Christmas.
Oh no, fuck that shit. Year. I'm done with that. So done with that.
I'm done with that. And the fact was, like, somebody.
If it works out the way it is at the minute, the amount of people in the Tory party just like, yeah, Boris, fuck off, mate. Boris, I think Boris will be out before spring.
Boris was Reese, Priti Patel. Rashi Sanek, they all need to go, honestly. Fuck the Tories. What's the thing that I saw on Instagram? And this is the caption was tell me something is England without saying it is in England.
I know, yeah.
And it was a nightclub of I don't know what the song is called. I'm terrible with songs, but they were like playing this song, and then they put the sound off, and they goes, "Boys, is a cunt," and then they'll play the rest of it. So
it's so funny.
That's so funny. But yeah, like, that's basically the update that we've been having, like, since October, whatever it was. My job has been extra stressful since Boris wants everyone boosted, which is, again, like I said, it's just not going to happen. But hey,
it's just not going to happen there.
And and then the whole thing with that Christmas, it's like, oh, you can only have a certain amount of people in your house, and it's like, oh, okay. And then but yeah, on a lighter note, we're going to get into something more entertaining. So I don't know if you've been missing it or you've been living under a rock, but Hawkeye came out on Disney Plus, and
it's quickly became another top 3 of mine for the series so far.
Yeah, I think it's definitely my favorite of the Netflix, not Netflix, Disney Plus / MCU series at the moment.
You know what? We were speaking about this the other day. Obviously, a certain somebody is included in the final episode. We won't say who, because obviously we've got to get to that spoiler-free part.
We'll get to the spoiler section later on. But yeah. I think this was like a very solid entry of the series. Like, I think it's just made. I always liked Hawkeye. Maybe it was just because I liked the actor Jeremy Renner, and
I like Jeremy Renner. Like, you know what? Like, I feel like I've seen him in so many different things. Like, sometimes I've watched it. Like, sort of appreciation of, like, you watching it back when you were from when you were younger, watching it, and like, you know who they are now. Like, there's so many different things that, like, you don't realize some people are who they are in films. Like, like, even like cartoon films like Madagascar, like, you don't know who someone is voice acting it when you're a kid, but you do when you're old. You're like, what?
Yeah.
It surprises you, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't realize he was in 20 Weeks Later, and I went to see the cinema back when it came out. And then I remember the first time I saw him, like, I properly came onto my radar, was The Hurt Locker. And and just ever since then, when I heard that he was cast as Hawkeye in the MCU, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And and that's obviously, and I think this series does. I mean, everyone across the board is just, you know, just stellar casting, like with Haley Steinfeld, Vera
Haley
Farmiga.
Steinfeld, oh my god, I think this is the best role she's been in ages. I'm not even joking. I'm not even spitting lies here. I'm spitting facts. Like, I haven't watched her series that she's been in with Apple TV Plus. I've heard some things about it.
Dickinson, that's it.
I've heard some things about it, but I haven't watched it yet. So I'll have to reserve my opinion for that moment. But like, I know that she's been in some really good shit over the years, and this is like definitely like another one that will, you know, propel her further into the industry. Like, she reminds me a lot of Cara Delevingne, because obviously Cara Delevingne's a model, and Hailey Steinfeld's also in music, and she's a model and she's an actor. Like, she's done something that someone like Justin Bieber wanted to do years ago. Like, he spoke about wanting to do acting as well as singing. Like, you're seeing this sort of multi-skilled kind of celebrity nowadays, and Hailey Steinfeld is definitely a good example of that.
Well, I first saw her in 2010 in the True Grit remake with Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon, and that was a fantastic.
I can't remember.
And that's a fantastic film, and she was great in it. Like, she was so good.
She's very good at the facial expressions. Like, if there's one thing that she's really good at in Hawkeye, she's very good at doing the stressed out face. You know, she looks like. She can do the eyebrow very well. Like, some actors don't do this very well, but like, she can do the eyebrow. Like, you can just tell how she's feeling by just looking at her eyebrows.
I thought the chemistry between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop was so good. Because it, you know, obviously it's like with all the Marvel series, like Loki and Falcon the Winter Soldier and WandaVision, there needs to be and the What If, but there needs to be chemistry.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I actually I don't know why I downloaded it, because it's I think it's a bit weird. Actually, no, I cloud played it because I just got an Xbox Series X. S, not X. You can't get that very much in a minute. I cloud played on Game Pass the Avengers game by Square Enix. I've heard so many shit things about it, so I do want to download it or install it. I just cloud played it, and I noticed there was actually a dorm in the Avengers flying ship for Kate Bishop. You know, I didn't realize that until I saw it. I was like, what? Okay. That's actually like, whether that's an Easter egg or not. Like, you can go into her quarters. She's not in there, but she's included in that. So that must tell you that she must become part of a bigger start of the Avengers later on with Hawkeye.
Well, they just for the game, you know, I've never played it. It didn't look interesting to me.
No, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is supposed to be better.
But they did introduce Black Panther and Spider-Man, and I'm, you know, give it time, they'll probably just include Kate Bishop. But
Spider-Man's also in Fortnite right at the minute, and it's funny how many people like say, "Well, how can MJ use webs?" And people reply back, "Oh, it's been introduced into the game recently." Yeah. The trailer. Do you see the trailer for it? Like, where they're both like swing away.
I heard about it, but
Tom Holland is they've got his likeness in it. And also they've got Zendaya's likeness.
Yeah.
And they actually look really good in it. They've got the good likeness. Like, they've done a good job. Like, they did Thanos. They did, I think, you know, like Tony Stark was in it, I think, at one point.
I think they've done Batman as well. So
I don't play Fortnite, but there's some good crossovers. No. They're making good moves.
So yeah, and then you got the other ones like Vera Farmiga as excuse me, as Kate Bishop's mother.
She was quite an interesting character. She very you could, like, obviously you couldn't see any resemblance, because like, you can never normally see a resemblance. Like, you don't get that sort of thing in acting like you do, like with like looking at your mom or your dad. Like, you could see yourselves in them. I think that she was very well cast with Kate, because she shares that same sort of like looking at you, stressed out sort of face, and the eyebrow thing going on as well, like the very sort of twitchy eyebrows. Like, you can tell that they made good chemistry working together, just like Jeremy Renner did with Haley Steinfeld as well. Like, the chemistry was there, the overall sort of theme of the show. Like, when we first was hearing things about Hawkeye, I think the first thing I never thought would be the case would be that it would be around Christmas time. And I think that's one of the best things that this show has going for it. It released just as Christmas was arriving. and it builds up until Christmas Day in the film, which is in the TV show. I'm calling it a film. It's that good. I just think like I'm really excited about it. Let's be frank here. I think you are as well. It's just one of those things.
And then obviously the character of it's Jack Duquesne.
Demont or Dufresne,
something like that. But it's played by Tony Dalton. He was great as well.
Yeah, he was really good. I love his accent. His accent's good.
And then also you got Frey Fee as Kazi. Basically,
she's
the
head
lady.
Of the.
He's the head of the red Russian.
The tracksuit guys.
The red tracksuit. That's it. Yeah.
Red tracksuit.
But speaking about who you were thinking of was Alakwa Cox as Maya Lopez. She was great. She was really good.
The action was still thrilling, and she was obviously doing all the sign language stuff. Like obviously, I'm not going to do any on screen for Owen. I was just waking my arms. I was like, yeah, that's really offensive. I shouldn't do that. But I love the fact that obviously they made sure that the actors learned a lot of the sign language stuff to make it because you couldn't just fake it because that would be so insensitive.
No, exactly.
But it's great. And Jerry Renner, obviously, and the two of them having that scene where they were both because obviously he has hearing problems because he had hearing damage from all the fights with the Avengers.
All the fights for the Avengers, yeah. That was actually a great. I actually quite like that because it's it just shows that he's still human.
Representation in movies of people that aren't just completely fully functioning people. Obviously she's a fully functioning person, but showing disabilities off, diversity in Black Panther example as well.
I mean, the thing is, Alakwa Cox is actually deaf, and
there you go. Even more then.
She's also an amputee. So that fake leg.
Yeah, that was actually so cool. Where she was whacking the fuck out of the other guy.
Yeah. So the fake leg is not the prosthetic leg. Should I say the prosthetic leg is not fake? It's real.
It's real.
And this was her acting debut. She
really?
I don't know what she was doing before, but yeah, I think she was doing something else, and then she was teaching something for deaf children, and then she just somehow got picked, to be in this role. And
a lot of people do get their starts in certain things. Marvel wasn't the one that I'd think of that most actors would get a start in, but there's a lot of actors coming into the Marvel universe that become well known because of Marvel now.
And I think she's now getting her own spin-off series. Yeah.
You know what? That's what I like. You think about when you think about it, Marvel are picking the right things to do spin-offs for. And I like that. Yeah. I really like that.
So I'm really proud of her, and she should be proud. And
exactly.
It's really going to be quite difficult to talk about the rest of it without delving into spoilers.
So I think off of the premise, we can kind of say what the trailer was already sort of insinuating. The trailer was basically insinuating that Jeremy Renner's other side, Ronan, is in danger because of spoiler things happening, and the trailer is basically propelling that sort of that sort of superhero side, but not directly in Hawkeye first. It comes from Steinfeld's character.
It's Kate Bishop steals the suit and uses it to fight people, and then Clint Barton has to clean up her mess, and it suddenly becomes his mess.
Yeah.
So that's basically the premise. That's as simple as it can get. And he's just worried that he's not going to make it in time for Christmas with his family. So it's kind of it's kind of almost like a time clock thing. Is he going to make it for Christmas for the family and this and that? And there's certainly some surprises. One of them wasn't really the surprise. Again, if we're going to go delving into spoilers,
just warning from this point, guys. Warning.
Yeah, so if you're going to go into so the one that didn't surprise me, because I heard that she was on set and she was credited on IMDb and everything, was Florence Pugh as Ladina Belova.
I absolutely love her as an actor.
She's so good.
Actor. I love her as a part in the show, her role. and obviously as an actor. Like, she's so funny. Her Instagram's brilliant. I love her Instagram.
Oh, she's so good.
Very vocal.
Yeah, I've been such a fan of her since I watched her in
Black Widow.
Lady Macbeth back in 2015.
I know she's been in a few things before, but not a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just quickly looking for. I did hear that she about a film called The Falling with Maisie Williams. Who was in Game of Thrones, but the one that really came into my radar was that film, Lady Macbeth. Like, that was such a fantastic film. Like, if you get an opportunity to watch it, definitely watch it. It is so good. And then she was in Outlaw King for Netflix with Chris Pine. And there was that series I really wanted to watch, was the Little Drummer Girl, with Alexander Skarsgård and Michael Shannon. But a great film that you should definitely need to watch, and I think it's on Netflix, is Fighting with My Family.
I think I've heard that.
It's so funny, and it's just everything about it. It's a great film. It's directed by Stephen Merchant. And
Stephen Merchant. Oh, I love Stephen Merchant.
And it's a true story about a WWE wrestler, Saraya Knight, who came from England and then debut onto the scene and then she was in Midsummer, and then she was in Little Women, which she got BAFTA and Oscar nominated for.
Oh wow!
And
I completely discredited the fact that she was in quite a few things then.
So yeah, she's such a good actress, and then obviously she finally broke out in the mainstream with Black Widow, and
now with Hawkeye.
Now with Hawkeye. So hopefully that doesn't really take over like as she is. She's got a lot of interesting projects coming up in future. But yeah, when I saw like when she was like with the hood and the night vision, it
looks so good.
Goggles. I looked at it, I went, that's her, isn't it? And then it just
yeah.
So and then there was like the reveal that Clint Barton fights Maya with as Ronin, and reveals himself who it is, and he's like, this whole hate is going to ruin you and everything. And then he goes, the night I killed your dad, like your boss ordered the hit for me. Yeah. And then that makes Maya like really sort of unsure whether her alliance is with the right people. And the biggest shock was Kingpin is in it.
I haven't been back and watched Daredevil yet, but I mean, he is one mean hunk of a guy. I'm actually a little bit shocked that Kate managed to take him down a little bit somehow.
Well, the thing is, it's like he's not that hard of a guy, but the thing is,
he's very much. He's packing a lot. So like all those hits were literally just like whack, gone.
I mean, there's one point. I mean, I'm not going to. Well, it's a bit of a. Well, to be honest, the series is gone. It's been a while since they debuted the series, so I'm not going to say who. But there is a part in the series where basically Kingpin, uses a car door with somebody's head in and just smashes his head in.
Oh god!
And it's just like when that was like the first time you see Kingpin like that, and then leading up to that scene, and I was just like, wow, shit. So yeah, I
just think that this is one thing that I think we can say safely about every series so far. Like, there has been not one series that has been a letdown in all of these series, and that is very difficult normally for companies.
What If is still the weakest one out of the lot?
I mean, I think it's unfair to completely criticize it, because it is obviously not live action; it's a comic.
Style.
Not comic style, but animated.
No, but still, there was still a few episodes where I just watched it and I was just kind of like, okay,
I think I think they said it pretty well in the making of series, because I've been watching all the different making of series. They're going to do one obviously for Hawkeye as well, which will be great to watch. But like they've said that they know that the core people in the core audiences that aren't really going to be fans of this. But the thing is though, those stories have to happen. Like obviously there's little things like the naming of Betty, obviously the little things like that. But like, I think it wasn't a weak series at all. Like the person they got in, the actor they got in to do the Watcher's voice, great opportunity that was. Great opportunity.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright, he's a great.
I love that actor. My God, his voice, like, what if? And just the way he says it says ponder the question. I just love the way he says ponder the question, because when you hear someone say ponder, it sounds very posh. That word does, but the way he says it just adds so much like it gives you a spine tingle when that intro comes on, because like who skips the intro for What If? It was really good.
Well,
like join me and ponder the question.
Well, it seems like this whole series, I would say WandaVision, Loki,
Marvel, was it?
Then with Spider-Man and now Doctor. It seems like a current theme is about talking about the multiverse.
Oh yeah, obviously Winter Soldier wasn't really talking about the multiverse. So
no, and neither was Hawkeye. So to
be fair though, Hawkeye definitely sets up like Jeremy Renner and Kate Bishop coming back into the Avengers at some point. I think they will be returning.
Well, Kate Bishop in the comics, she has taken over the Hawkeye name like a few times, and
they did joke at the end episodes. Obviously, if you're still watching this, remember, spoil. If you're not watching, if you're just trying to join back in, this is still spoilers. But obviously, she talks about like saying, "Oh, what can I call myself? Like Lady Hawkeye,
Lady
Bow."
No, it was Lady Hawk, and he goes
Lady Hawk.
It was just like, which is like, if you don't know, it was an 80s film with Matthew Broderick and Rodger Hauer and Michelle Pfeiffer, and I thought that was kind of funny.
It's a nice little like jab at an old film, isn't it?
And so I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I mean, the
only thing I can say negative about the series is that we can do this all day. That shitty theatre performance credit scene.
I was laughing. I was like, "This is so shit." But you know what? I'm gonna keep watching this.
I was hoping that it got better. I really was.
Yeah, and again, another spoiler, but what happens to Kingpin? Because we didn't see him get shot, so anything can happen. So, because
I absolutely love this thing here. I've shared it on my story. You'll probably see it on your story as well. But it's from the Instagram account Comic Book.
Oh, I think I've seen it. Yeah.
Post-credit scene, and they get to Hawkeye. It's like, it's like we had post-credit expectations that were fucked.
Yeah, it was just funny because it's basically the what was it? It's artwork of the was it? I was like King Ghidorah. That's it. From the Godzilla series.
Yeah.
So he's got WandaVision and the Falcon the Winter Soldier, and then like the Loki post-credit scene, and then you got the whole.
I just love it. The dragon's just like. Oh god.
That was just really funny because we were all doing the same thing. We're like waiting because normally you got an end credit scene when it doesn't give you the option to skip. To skip, and then it goes like, "Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone! Here's the musical."
I think even they knew it was very tongue in cheek to do it.
Oh, of course it would. Like they did
a joke within a joke.
they did choreography. They gave a production value to it. I mean, you could have just see it from like that one episode and then just not see it. Like,
I mean, fair play that they did it in a proper Broadway sort of sense. It was cringe.
I think that was the whole
cringe.
point. Yeah, that was the whole point. That's why when Jeremy Renner is like looking at the first episode, they're like, Ant-Man wasn't even in there. So, no, like I honestly, I really, really enjoyed this series. Like the the plot twists, and then that ended up that her mom was part of the Kingpin.
Every actor was very much a standout, and like I think Hawkeye probably is now my second favorite Marvel Studios show.
What I liked about it was it wasn't so fantastical. I mean,
it wasn't pushing its luck.
No, it wasn't like the only fantastical bit was the Pym arrow where it made arrow ginormous, and then
and what was that one? Where they made the van small. I thought that was a bit.
Oh
weird.
yeah, but whatever.
It was funny though that the owl that was with him in the tree
picked it up.
Bye.
I love how she goes, "What happened to the people inside?" He goes, "I don't know. I didn't think this through."
I mean, and there's other little things like when Florence Pugh and Hailee Steinfeld are fighting with each other in the office building, and it's like, you did a really good move back there. Oh, you was really good there. There's like ladies just like and then like amazed.
It's like you're trying to be friends with me to make it easy to kill them. Yeah.
Just admitting it, just saying no. She's like, oh no, and then when they have that chat earlier in the series, in the obviously the base of hers.
You guys, this is my first time going to New York. It's so great. Like,
it's like, oh yeah, is the tree good? Go to the tree. Yeah, the tree's good. And they go to the tree at the end of the show.
She's like adding hot sauce to the macaroni and cheese. Like, I love hot sauce. Like, I love it so much.
She's really good. She's really good at doing the accents as well. The accent was really good.
The other bit that I really liked was when she got blipped out and then got blipped back in.
That was good. You know what? That could have probably been included in maybe a post-credit scene in Black Widow, but I don't know. I feel like it made more sense in this show.
Yeah. No, I liked how she got blipped and then it was very quickly got blipped back in.
Yeah, like there's no time gap. Yeah.
Well, it just shows like it was that quick, and then. Because the whole point of it is that it made it out like when Peter Parker comes up to Tony Stark in Endgame, it's like yeah, like we were on this planet, and then for a second there, like I disappeared, but then I came back and you weren't there and everything, and so
I love the enthusiasm. Like that's one thing that Tom Holland has for him. Like I can't wait to watch the fucking film.
And that's the frustrating thing, because there's some surprises that weren't surprising, but they still were executed well. And then all
I know is I've been able to survive so far, not seeing any spoilers. I'm touch wood, obviously. I'm doing okay, but I know the movie's bloody good. I know it's bloody good, and people come away crying from the film.
It is good. It is. I don't know. Maybe it's the antidepressants that pulled it back the tears a bit. But
oh no, bless.
But there were really good moments in the film that and obviously the post-credit scene. Like, what's the post? Like, there was a the mid-credit scene was shit. But there you go. But
that doesn't ruin it for me, so that's fine with me.
but they did release just recently the teaser poster of the Doctor Strange sequel and the trailer for it. So, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah,
so, it's just the fact that
I haven't watched the Doctor Strange trailer yet because I feel like it might spoil something for me if I've not watched Spider-Man yet. Because I've seen some posters like showing like crisscrossings.
I'm literally trying to think. I personally don't think it does, because it's pretty much like in lead out, but I don't know. I mean,
the only things I've kind of spoiled for myself is like little scenes that they showed on their Instagram, like showing Doctor Strange's character basically like getting like mad with Peter, keeping on talking while he's doing the spell. He's like, but I can't have this happen. Like, shut up!
Oh, that's not. It's not really that much of a spoiler, really.
Sorry about that. Parents aren't great at like discretion when you're doing stuff.
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, like those little scenes like already make me really excited. Like, and like most of the time, there are people that are like that will go in completely cold turkey, no trailers, no anything. But I can't do that for everything.
I felt sorry for Tyler because he just wanted. He said to me, he wanted something in the background as he was doing something, and he was scrolling through, and
oh yeah, you told me that.
He came across a spoiler, and he was like, no. And then
I've seen that. What's his name? Is it what's the YouTuber that we both watch? Like the spoiler, like not spoilers, but like the Easter eggs and shit from. What's he called?
Was it Emergency Awesome or something?
Yeah, I haven't watched him for a little bit. I haven't, because obviously we had a gap between What If and Hawkeye for a little bit again.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch him, but I need to go back and watch those videos from Hawkeye because he's obviously done post credits and analysis.
I mean, like I said, like the Marvel films has actually been pretty solid. I know
I haven't seen Eternals yet, or
I mean that's coming out,
but they're both on. Yeah,
they're going to come out in January, yeah, they're coming out. To be honest, like you know what, I don't regret going to the cinema to see Eternals. I actually enjoyed it. Like, it's a lot better than people claim it is. It is nowhere bad as they say it is.
And we I think that's a good sort of transition to say it's not as bad as The Matrix.
The Matrix Resurrections.
Oh
God!
So we're on the same page with this, guys. Owen's seen it. I haven't seen it. Just like with Spider-Man, but the demo, the Unreal demo that they did on PlayStation and Xbox, better than the film.
Yeah, that was yeah. At least that was 11 minutes long and not 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I know people who have actually like walked out in the first few minutes of the film. It's mad.
I honestly, I was pretty close because some of the meta, you know, the meta references and everything, like I was just like, this is pissing me off so much.
Such a money grab, basically, right?
And it was just, you know, it was trying to be so meta and everything. It just did not work for me. By the second half, I was all right with it, but I was still bored, and
it's not fun to watch.
No, and
you know, you flip it and you look at a film that one of the longest James Bond films, No Time to Die. There was never a dull moment in that film.
No, not at all. And it's the same with the Eternals. I'd rather watch Eternals again than watch Matrix Resurrections.
I still haven't watched the new Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City yet. I haven't heard bad things about that.
That's not coming. I think that's not coming out till early next year for us, because I know it's already came out.
I'm sure it's come out here in the UK.
It's
a few weeks ago.
So look.
Yeah, it came out a few weeks ago because
wow,
showings.
Well, they did not release it in Odeon cinemas, so it's clearly not doing well at all. I
think it had limited showings, but like I read some good things still about it, so I don't think it's like flopped.
Really, I've heard nothing but bad things about it. So
not as bad as Matrix, let's be honest. The Matrix definitely flopped worse.
I feel
like it's got a bigger budget. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, the Matrix Resurrections has a bigger budget than Resident Evil, and
you expect it to do better when it obviously hasn't.
Then again, like it just didn't surprise me for the reviews of Resident Evil, like just because I thought the trailers just made it look like dog shit. But there you go.
I still will watch it because I'm a Resident Evil fan. So
I'm interested, but I'm just not holding my hopes up. I'll wait till it's out in cinemas.
I mean, I'm still waiting. I've still been finding the right time to buy Village because I want to play it, even though I've watched it all the way through. Like, that's something that's good about Resident Evil games. You can watch them played back on YouTube and you can still enjoy them.
You've got people doing run-throughs and
playability is just there.
That's it.
But going back to Matrix.
Yeah, going back to the Matrix. So it's only made on its opening since it came out on Wednesday. And
which is a weird one already.
I know, films just come out on a couple of days before Christmas. Spider-Man came out on Wednesday.
True.
So yeah, but then it's only made in comparison by a lot of blockbusters like No Time to Die and Black Widow and even Spider-Man. It's just made a piss poor just box office opening. It's like only made $16 million.
That's nothing. Jesus,
that's nothing compared. And I don't know what the budget for is. I'm pretty sure it's like I'm thinking about. You're probably thinking about. I would say
into the 50s onwards.
I would say 150, 200 million.
Ooh,
250 max. That's I would say.
Let's have a look. See, because normally you can look at it on Google. Let's have a look.
To go back on Matrix. Resident Evil, it's going around about just $32.95 on website.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sorry, say again. Sorry, I feel like I missed something there.
What about how much it is?
Oh, the game. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, the Resident Evil game. Sorry, Resident Evil Village. Sorry.
So this is the funny bit. I decided to go back and look at the budget and box office for the original Matrix movie. The original Matrix movie budget was 63 million. It made 466.6 million.
That's huge.
I know. It's not as much as something like Skyfall that made over $1 billion.
Oh no, but back in those days, that was
1999.
Massive. Yeah, that was massive. Yeah.
I'm trying to get onto the new movie. Resurrections. I've just typed Resurrections in. It still didn't give me the IMDb for it.
It's still not getting a it's not showing how much of the budget was.
Resurrections wiki. There we go. Wiki. Here we go. Let's see. Box office is only 20.1 million apparently right now.
So at the moment, I'm looking at the worldwide box office.
Okay, the budget was 150 million. You were right.
Okay, so I was pretty close. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
So that's like.
Oh, that's a shame to see. I just saw an article here that's come up in the top stories from Forbes saying Sing 2, which I guess is a animated film, tops while Matrix 4 tops Matrix 4 while the King's Man bombs, which I'm confused about because I've heard good things about the King's Man.
I've heard mixed things about the King's Man. So, but just to give you an idea about the box office right now, this year.
6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, apparently. 86% liked the film.
So the first two films are from China, which nobody's gonna, no one from here is gonna know, so I'll skip that. Number 3 is Spider-Man: No Way Home. No shock there. So worldwide is made nearly 780 million. Million, and it's people are saying it's gonna break the $1 billion mark.
What, the new Spider-Man film?
Yeah.
Gee.
Number 4, and you know what? I'm actually quite impressed with it. So number 4, do you want to take a guess?
Oh, I still think that No Time to Die has got to be in that one.
Number 4, you'd be right.
Oh shit! Bang on.
So it's made almost at $775 million.
Jesus! Wow. So it's nearly $1 billion then.
And when the whole blockbuster scene started with F9, the Fast Saga, that was at the moment the top box office movie of the year with 726 million. So No Time to Die and Spider-Man just beat it.
Shit, that's insane.
And then there's another Chinese film, number 6. Number 7 is Venom: Let There Be Carnage with almost 500 million.
I've not obviously seen that film yet. I've not been to cinema that much in the last few months, but I haven't heard anything too terrible about the new Venom, to be honest.
I've heard pretty mixed to bad things about it.
I think it'd be better to say mixed, if anything, because I don't see it completely being writ off in the same way as other films.
Then Godzilla versus Kong, at number 8.
Hang on, did we have Dune in there yet?
No, no. Number 9 is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Wow, okay.
Number 10 is Eternals. Damn, okay. I thought it'd be lower, but there you go.
I'm surprised that Dune isn't in there.
And then number 11 is Dune.
What? What is Dune down that far? Dune is a great film.
It's pretty much an art house blockbuster. It's not that accessible to a lot of people,
which is weird because it's distributed by Warner Bros. I've got the box office mojo here, which is IMDb.
Yeah, but then again, they also distributed Blade Runner 2049, and that bombed at the box office. So
I honestly for me, this is the weirdest part. Dune is very similar to the sort of dystopian stories like Star Wars, etc. Like it's not exactly like Star Wars, or it's got that sort of Mad Max like futuristic vibe as well. But Dune hit a good level with me. Like there are bits that are a bit confusing still, but like the stuff about spice being like the sort of like the way of like doing stuff
and space travel and everything. Yeah,
like honestly, the soundtrack is amazing. Zendaya, oh my god, she's a heartthrob. Fucking hell.
Well, even though she was barely in the film,
she'll be more in the second film, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. But that's the great thing. When I was watching it, I was like the whole time I was like, please be. Obviously, it was good. I was enjoying it, but by the end of it, I'm like, please let it do well and get a sequel. Yeah. And luckily, it's getting a sequel.
Hey, just looking at this, the British box office this year right now, No Time to Die is the current one with $127 million grossing.
Not surprised.
Spider-Man is literally right behind it with 52 million. Then Shang-Chi with 29 million. Dune with 28 million. So Dune is the number 4 film in the UK currently. Peter the Rabbit 2 is 27 million. Black Widow still in the list, even though it's not in cinemas now. 25 million. Saying that though, took no time to die is not in cinemas no more either. Then there's Venom with 23 million at 7. 8 is Free Guy. I actually think Free Guy is a very underrated film. It's a great film, that is. Love that film. It got sort of like sidelined because of COVID, and obviously during that time the full deal happened with 20th Century Fox. So obviously that now it obviously is just 20th Century film, but it comes under Walt Disney Productions. It does now, Motion Pictures. Then you've got F9, the Fast Saga, which I can't recollect what that is. I think that's Fast and the Furious. Yeah, Fast and the Furious. Then the Eternals at number 10. So yeah, it's all right. 11 was the Suicide Squad movie, the new one.
That's great.
Sorry, I'm not even saying the numbers here. Sorry, I completely missed that. So 23 million for Venom. Just a little bit behind by about $800,000 is the Free Guy film. Fast and the Furious, 22 million. I think that's probably the weakest in the saga at the minute. The Eternals at 19 million. Suicide Squad at 19 million as well. Just under £200,000 difference, dollars even. Space Jam, I didn't even realize that it came out this year. The new one, okay, 17 million. Jungle Cruise at 17 million as well. A Quiet Place 2 at 16.4 million. Ghostbusters, haven't watched that either. I don't even know if that was a flop. It's obviously not the original guys in it. It's still women in it. Not that that's a problem, obviously. That's at 13.
Well, it was kids. So
yeah, it was at 13.8 million. The Addams Family 2. There's so many films I haven't seen this year. Jesus.
I didn't realize that came out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's animated. The Addams Family 2. I'm not too sure. The Croods at 13 million. I'm going to stop at 20 because it's going too much. Cruella, that was a standout for this year, actually, from Disney. That was a really good film.
I still haven't watched it. So.
I haven't watched it either, but my mom said it was probably one of the best films that she's watched this year. And I know it's available
on. I know most of that. Most of it is available on Disney Plus. So I will get round to it, but.
It's funny because I wouldn't have said it because it's 21, but House of Gucci's only at $10.6 million. It's obviously flopped.
So yeah, going back to the Matrix, yeah, it just seems like people are just mostly mixed about it, and then I was just walked away, just went, all right, I guess we had another Matrix film. Cool. Not
the Matrix ain't gonna make it on top lists at all.
It's just
which is a surprise because it did do that when it first had its first film out, and obviously we know that the next films in the first original saga were a bit wish-wash for a lot of people as well.
Well, the second one was all right, and then the third one, I think the problem was like they were like months separate. They came out the same year,
so which is also quite interesting because you don't get that very often now.
No, that's weird. The thing. Which is but even though they were shot back to back, and but I think that was part of the problem with the third one is like it came out. I think it was like 6 months or whatever it was after the second one came out.
Gives you that same vibe as Jurassic Park, like the second and the third film. Like the third film was the worst one of the three. Obviously, the second one was okay. So it's got that sort of same Matrix vibe there, hasn't it? Like the first film. Everybody is nostalgic for. It's fantastic. Second film, it was okay, but it wasn't terrible. Third film, the Lost World was the third one, I think.
No, the Lost World was the second one.
Sorry.
Then it was just Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, it's just terrible. So you can see a bit of a pattern there. Like it's going back to what we were saying earlier on, just me and you chatting. Like just like you look at like movies in the same sort of lane as like music as well. Like there's like the artists, Arctic Monkeys, Gorillaz, Two Door Cinema Club. They've all come out with albums in the last 3 years that have absolutely just flopped. People hate it.
Yeah, and it's just really frustrating because there are some good ideas in the new Matrix film,
but they get lost in the fact that it's just been like really badly done.
Oh, it's just yeah, and it's just that even the fight sequences, like they're shot too close and it's edited too quickly, and
yeah, but apparently that was something that people hated. The fact that it was edited so fast. It reminds you of a Resident Evil film. It does the Paul Anderson ones because he cuts all these fight scenes so fucking close.
Well, it's just bad. It's just bad action filmmaking, and it just made me go, but Lana, you did the first 3 films,
That's
and
what's really surprising.
what made it those action sequences good was because they were mostly wide, shots, or at least you can tell like what was going on. You let the actors do their thing.
Which is
Whereas with
annoying
him,
because Keanu Reeves, and I forget her name. What's the other actor's name?
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah, those two, I'm sure they were really good in the film, but like it doesn't hold the film up by any means.
Well, the thing is, it was just like you had Keanu Reeves doing John Wick, was directed by Chad Stahelski, who was his stunt double in the first 3 Matrix films. Which, by the way, they make a reference to it, and I literally went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah, it's just there's so many like problems, and it's so annoying, isn't it?
It had so much potential, and the whole time I just was disinterested. The whole 2.5 hours, and I was just like, it just let the thing. Like, I'll wait for the Matrix Awakens or whatever it is.
Are they supposedly making another one then?
No. I'm talking about the video game that's coming out.
Oh
soon.
yes, of course, yeah. Imagine the fact that the video game actually ends up being better than the film. Like, that's fucked.
At this point, I won't be surprised, honestly.
And you know what? Without going into a long conversation about it right now, maybe a future topic is that video games is definitely wearing the pants off of people who are very much a film watcher as opposed to a video game player. Because you get a lot of people now who enjoy people playing video games, not necessarily playing the games themselves or owning the console or any platform to play the game on, but avidly enjoying the story. Like, that's one of the reasons why I love Resident Evil, because the storylines in like Resident Evil 7 and Village are absolutely compelling. Like, you could turn them into films, definitely. And like, it's a shame where the film series ends up being.
And I just think that we still got I don't know how, like, well, we got we got The Last of Us coming out.
Oh yeah, I bet you're nervous about it, aren't you?
I'm not really nervous, to be honest.
Okay.
They got Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin, who did Chernobyl. They're involved on making the series, so I'm pretty hopeful for that.
We got Uncharted as well with Tom Holland recently as well.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm a little bit hesitant at the minute. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Tom Holland will be a good actor, but like, it's just like,
he's not Nathan Drake. He's
no,
just not.
I don't think anybody's going to get exactly as close like to Nathan Drake.
I know, but it's just like you look at people, like you look at fan films, or because they had that one with Nathan Fillion, and he was like, he's Nathan. I know you wouldn't be able to get him. Like, they'll have to get somebody else, but you could have at least made an attempt to get somebody who looked like Nathan Drake, and they didn't. And
I mean, we might be surprised. We don't know yet.
And the other problem is that it's directed by Ruben Fleischer, who it was only made. I haven't seen Zombieland Double Tap. I've seen the first one, which I really enjoyed, but he did make Gangster Squad, which I thought was boring, and then he made Venom, which I fucking hated.
Yeah, you're very vocal about Venom. We've had that on the podcast.
So at the moment, him being involved with Uncharted, I'm just not convinced.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what? I'll say if you felt you needed any other reason to be told not to watch The Matrix and go and watch something better and save your money somewhere else, maybe go and watch another film that Keanu Reeves is in and spend your money there, because he'll be better in it. It's not even him that's bad. It's just a better film that he's in.
Or if you manage to try get HBO Max, then just watch it there. It's just cheaper, and it's just it's much more better than just going all the way to the cinema and paying however much it is for it. But at least you're not paying as much as like 50-60 quid like a video game, where like you can be really disappointed, which is a shame. But hey, that's just media for you in the 21st century. That's it.
I'd say something that I am looking forward to, it'll probably be the new year. We're not sure whether we're going to do an episode between after Christmas, post Christmas, and into before the start of the new year. So like, obviously stay tuned, it may happen. But when we get to the new year, we are hoping, I hope that I get to talk a bit about the returning back to Hogwarts series from the Harry Potter series. Obviously we won't mention JK because we already hate her anyway, so that's fine. But you know what, I'm excited to see the cast come back and sort of like relive the Hogwarts saga all over again. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be going. Like, it's going to be on HBO Max, which makes me think it'll be on Sky in the UK, which is good because I've got Now
Probably.
TV, so that's good.
Yeah. There's a couple of things I still need to watch. I mean, there's Don't Look Up. I don't know if it's on Netflix at the moment. Is it out?
Don't Look Up. I think I've heard of that. I swear
That's
it's been advertised.
That's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes, it's been advertised in Birmingham News Street.
It's out on the
24th today. It might be out today.
I think it's either today or it's tomorrow.
It's either today or tomorrow, or it might even be Sunday actually.
And then there's obviously the Peter Jackson documentary, The Beatles Get Back on Disney Plus.
That's just come out recently as well. I think it's like a 6 or 7 part series or something.
I haven't looked into it, but
I'm definitely going to be watching that with my dad because I was.
And that's the other one everyone's been raving about is Arcane on Netflix.
I have heard about that. It looks like we might have another stellar start to a year of movies and TV shows.
Well, there's also The Witcher season 2, which I worked on, which I can now say.
There you go, yeah.
But I haven't seen any of the episodes, so I can't tell which episodes.
It's ironic because I actually downloaded all of the first and second series on my iPad to take with me on my cruise, and I haven't watched it still yet because of it. I mean, I'm currently watching Killing Eve right now, actually on the BBC.
Okay,
I'm really enjoying that.
There's a film that just came out. I managed to watch at the London Film Festival. That's on Netflix. It's called The Power of the Dog.
I think I've heard of that actually. I think someone mentioned that to me.
Which is with Benedict Cumberbatch, Jesse Plemons, Cody Smith-McPhee, and Kirsten Dunst. It's really good. Definitely check it out. It's quite a bit of a slow burner. It's not a typical Western, but yeah, definitely check it out. You know what? It's.
I think it's definitely a fair thing to say that even with COVID going on this year, we've had a stellar lineup of movies and TV shows this year. I think this year has been such a strong year, and it just goes to show that no matter how unrudely our year is, we're still managing to get some brilliant content.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait until maybe the new year. When we do the next episode, I'll do my top favorite films of 2021.
I think it would be good to do maybe even a bonus episode on that. Might be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a couple of films I want to watch, which is Titane, which is the French film that won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. Then there's Licorice Pizza, which is the new film by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's not really much coming up. Well, there was the new Scream, but I'm not that fond of.
I've seen that advertised around. I'm like, they missed their mark, wasn't it? Shouldn't they really come out in October?
I don't know, but then I'm definitely looking forward to the new Guillermo del Toro film, Nightmare Alley, with Bradley Cooper.
I've seen the trailer for that. It looks good.
And also another film called Belfast, which is written and directed by Kenneth Branagh, which is making waves at the awards season early on.
I'm still waiting. I haven't had the chance yet to go, obviously because it's just I haven't been able to see many things. Let's be frank, in the cinema. Like I've only been on a few trips because everyone's trying to be mindful, I guess. Like if you're going on your own to watch the film, then fair enough. But like people making trips out to go and see films, like to get to cinema, you have to spend that time.
To be honest, like when we went to see Spider-Man No Way Home, that was quite packed, and I haven't seen that in such a while. Maybe actually, no, Time to Die was actually quite packed. Actually,
No Time to Die was quite busy for me as well. And we went on the night after it came out. So actually, no, we went on the date. Sorry, we went out on the date. Did it come out on the Thursday or the Friday?
I think it came out on the Thursday.
The 30th of September it came out, right? I think it's
something like that. Yeah.
I think we watched it. We watched it the next day. We did, or we watched it that evening.
Because I know we had it the week earlier than when the North American release was.
Yeah, and then Australia got it a few days after they did.
Yeah,
Australia was the latest people to watch it.
Yeah, well, the one that every time they show it, I'm like, ugh, is Morbius, that Marvel film with Jared Leto as the vampire.
Yeah,
I was just like, you know what, don't bother. I'm not gonna. I mean, you know what? I like if I hear things that like, oh my god, it's so bad, it's so good, or whatever it is, then
When you hear
I
mixed
might.
stuff like that, that makes you feel
But if
like.
but the thing is, like, the way I'm paying it with Odeon Limitless, so yeah, I guess I'm not losing out much. So
No, if you're watching enough movies with that money, then fair enough. Like for like 15, 16 quid a month, you're doing all right.
£12.99.
Oh yeah, they have a deal, don't they, where you pay for like 6 months at that price, I think, right?
So yeah, I might if I got nothing else to watch and I'm just like I'm bored, I might as well I might watch it. But hey,
It's tempting to just spend that sort of money a month because, like, if I'm spending £20 a month ish on a subscription to the gym and I'm not using it, I'm better off going to the cinema probably.
Probably. I still don't buy food there. It's just atrocious.
Oh yeah, I just go to, so in Birmingham there's a Cineworld and the Morrisons very close to each other. I just cross over to the Morrisons first and get a bag of popcorn from there.
Yeah, I just go to a Tesco Express, which is around the corner of me. Just quickly go there, get a can of Coke and a pack of sweets, and then
the thing is, they know that people are going to take it in, so they're just.
They probably know that it's expensive, so when they see people trying to hide the drinks and
the only thing they don't allow you to take in is hot drinks for the 4DX experiences because obviously the chairs move.
Right, okay.
So if you're drinking a hot drink and the chair moves, you're like, it burns, that you can't see.
Yeah, right.
Because they told you no. And they actually check your drinks as you're going in. So
right, okay, fair enough. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Well, in terms of next year, I'm gonna be busy with a big, and I mean big, film production.
Yeah, congratulations again on that.
Which is hence, like, obviously you can't see, but I'm growing my hair and my facial hair.
I remember you saying on Instagram the other day, like, "Oops, I was meant to grow this out, so you cut it."
Well, no, I mean, it was like, they said, I took a picture of like a screenshot of them saying you cannot touch your facial hair and your hair, and I went in the words of Geralt, and then the next it was a picture of Geralt, and it's just saying fuck like that.
Yeah, he's like, shit, no, here we go again, like CJ from San Andreas.
It was basically exactly this time last year I had to grow my hair and beard. Even though when I did, I got the armor for The Witcher, and I'm just covered head to toe in armor, so you couldn't even see my face. I went, really? I grew all this hair and beard for nothing. So,
the worst part is the amount of times you have to like cut it and grow it back every so often for roles. It probably gets really irritating.
However, there's a benefit for this. So obviously, I still need to grow my facial hair, so it's a full-on beard right now. But they are saying that we need to figure out whether to give us either sideburns and a mustache. So my face would definitely be seen, unless I'm getting executed by the guillotine and I've got a bag over my head. Then I'll be pissed off. So. Until I can reveal what that is, in the meantime,
we'll work out where we can film.
I'm gonna be busy. Yeah, I'm gonna be busy in London, so that's as much as I can say. That's as much as I can say about it. So I've signed a non-disclosure agreement, and so if I do reveal anything on social media or
this guy gets hunted down
on the podcast, or I just get a slap at the wrist and be like, "Fuck off." That's it.
Imagine it was like, "We'll do a Liam Neeson.
We'll find you, like the joke. It's just kind of like. It's kind of like the joke when the actors say before the film comes out, it's like, we can't really talk much about the film because if we do, then it's called a spoiler. So you
can't do a Tom Holland, yeah.
No, just do what Paul Rudd and Jeremy Renner did like with Endgame. They couldn't really talk about anything about Endgame, so they just made up shit as they went along. It was so funny. It was so funny. They just made up this movie that does not exist just because they just couldn't talk about anything about it. So I might just do that.
Pretty amazing. But hey, yeah, welcome back again, guys, to the podcast. I know we're now might not be on your phone screens, in your ears after this until the new year, but we are back. We are making a big effort to come back in the best way we can. When we get into these podcasts, we're having such a ball. Like, it's not like a chore or anything for us. We just love doing these. It's just getting the time together. Like, time literally just falls out of our hands like sand these days. Life is such a busy thing, but that's a good sign of life returning back to normal constantly, you know. And obviously, we're just doing the best we can. But yeah, we'll leave it at that and just say thank you very much for joining us again for this episode of the podcast. I think this is episode 3 of series 2.
Series 2, yeah.
I think that's right. And if it isn't series 2, it's episode 2, we apologize. But welcome back again. I have been your host, Josh Deakin, at Miss Josh Deakin. And
your co-host, Owen Burkett, at Owen.Burkett.
And of course, our signature end line, stay safe. Make sure you wear that mask because you're meant to wear it again now. And you should have kept wearing it anyway. I know I should have done. I didn't wear it for a little while. Whoa. No. I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
No. And if you're eligible, get your vaccine.
Yes. Vaccine. And not to be cringe, but get boosted.
Get boosted and get boosted off.
That's it. But yeah, take care, guys. Have a very Merry Christmas if we don't see you until the new year. And in that same vein, a Happy New Year too.
Stay safe, everyone. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.